As you all know, we have a very rich tradition here at the College of Charleston, which opens a brand new era, an exciting era here this afternoon. And with that, please welcome the College of Charleston President, Dr. George Benson.
Good afternoon. This is a very special day for the College of Charleston, a very special day for the city of Charleston. Pleased that you're all here with us. On behalf of the college community, it's now my pleasure to welcome to Charleston our new head basketball coach and his family, Wojcik, Lael, they're all over here. Sorry, Lael, Paxton, and Denham. Welcome to Charleston. Before I turn the podium over to our athletic director, Joe Hall, I'd like to say a few words about the selection process that we just went through. A little over 2 weeks ago, most of us here today gathered to listen to an announcement by Coach Bobby Crimmins. Bobby had decided to retire from coaching after 6 wonderful years at the College of Charleston. Bobby, it's good to see you here today. It was a very emotional afternoon. Bobby had a remarkable tenure at the college. We paused on that day to celebrate his record, to celebrate his accomplishments, not only at the college, but across his entire career in basketball. And then, after that moment, we got down to work. And we worked hard for a better part of a solid week. The search committee included athletic director Joe Hull, Coach John Kress, and also Dan Shoemaker. Dan is the Vice President of Collegiate Development for ESPN, and the final member of that committee was me. I'd like the committee to stand, if you would, ladies and gentlemen. Joe, thank you for all that you did. We worked very closely together for a very concentrated period of time. The committee obviously had an extremely difficult task, huge shoes to fill, a sequence of huge shoes when you think of John Kress and Bobby Crimmins. But our basketball program, because of those two gentlemen, has developed a national reputation, so we knew we had a lot to sell, a lot to take out onto the market. We knew we would attract very experienced and good coaches to the city. And we knew we had other attributes to sell besides the history of basketball at the College of Charleston. College is an emerging national university, and you've heard me talk about that any number of times in the past. We have very strong student demand, over 14,000 applications for about 2,300 freshman spots. Rigorous academic program, strong faculty and staff who really care about the students, who are committed to protecting and nurturing the student-focused culture that we have here at the College of Charleston. Our players are incredibly talented, incredibly dedicated, hardworking. They play their hearts out, they work together as a team. They leave it out there on the floor night after night after night. Gentlemen, we thank you for that. Our coaching staff, another one of our assets, dedicated, talented, led by interim coach Mark Pine. The team finished strong this year and built a solid foundation for next year. And of course, the Cougar Nation, people that fill this beautiful TD arena, game after game after game, the people that give us the highest attendance figure in the Southern Conference, another great asset that Charleston has to offer to any coach. And then, of course, last but not least, we have Charleston, the city of Charleston. Who wouldn't want to work in paradise? By the way, we put a billboard up in Atlanta not too long ago. It's got a picture of the battery. You see the water in the front, you see the water on the other side, you see the beautiful homes along the battery, you see the College of Charleston logo down in the left-hand corner, and over in the right-hand corner it says, "Education in Paradise." I'm hearing from a lot of friends in Atlanta these days. We need more of those signs. And so it's no wonder that we drew a lot of attention for this position. A lot of high-level coaches were interested, but one person rose to the top, and that was Doug Wojcik. We're so pleased that he did. Joe Hall will talk about his impressive resume in a few minutes, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about the search, a little bit about Doug, something you may not know at this point in time. He came to us with some of the strongest references, the strongest recommendations you could imagine from some of the top coaches in the land. From Mike Krzyzewski at Duke, from Tom Izzo at Michigan State. If you recall, Doug spent 2 seasons as an assistant coach under Coach Izzo. including the team's 2005 run to the Final Four. And from Coach John Calipari, who was obviously a little bit busy the last few days, he also took time to talk with us and sing the praises of Doug Wojcik. Doug's Tulsa team faced Calipari's Memphis team, you may recall, in Conference USA Championship games in 2008 and again in 2009. So John knows him well. When great basketball coaches with proven track records and top programs tell you that Doug Wojcik is a winner, you tend to believe them, and we did. We do, we know he's a winner, and by that I don't just mean a winner on the basketball court. Doug is a winner of recruiting great players. He's a winner of molding and mentoring young men, and a winner of promoting academic success among his players. It's obviously very important to us here at the college. He's a loving husband, a devoted father, a former Navy officer. Doug Wojcik is also a winner in life, and he is now a member of our family, and I would like to welcome Doug to the College of Charleston. Joe, come on.
Thank you, President Benson. My name is Joe Hall, Director of Athletics here at the College of Charleston. I do want to echo President Benson's comments about our search process. One of the things our group was committed to was consensus, and we worked hard to arrive at that consensus. Our committee members, President Benson, provided an overarching view from our campus, and in fact, in each interview began with President Benson talking about the college, our history, our accomplishments, and our vision for the future. John Press. John gave us credibility with the coaches that we interviewed. In fact, one of our candidates consistently referred to him as, quote, the great Coach John Press, every time he said his name. Dan Shoemaker. Dan has been around the Southern Conference, so he knows our league for many, many years. He has children attending the College of Charleston, and he has spent 30 years broadcasting college basketball games. His ties nationally within the college basketball coaching community are incredible. I do want to share one story from my experience going through this process. I had gone to sand volleyball on a Sunday afternoon, and it was raining after the game. I was heading home. I stopped at a stoplight on my way, and the car behind me apparently wasn't paying any attention, and just blasted in the back of the car. Airbags deployed in the car behind me, and I got jolted. My back was hurting. So my wife suggested I go to the mid-care, urgent care type facility. So as you do in doctor's office, I sit waiting. I had my phone buzzer turned off, but I saw a number pop up. I didn't recognize the number, so I stepped out and answered the call. And the name on the other end said, Joe, this is Mark Cuban. I said, excuse me? He said, Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks. I said, well, hey, Mark. He said, I'm guessing I must be the last person you expect to hear from today. I said, well, I'm not sure last is right, but pretty close to last. Congratulations on winning the World Championship. For the next 20 minutes, he extolled the virtues of one of the people that was interested in being the next basketball coach at the College of Charleston. Our search was clearly on the radar screen nationally. Among the people I had an opportunity to talk with were the incredible Rick Pitino and Billy Donovan, President mentioned John Calipari, Anthony Grant, Herb Sendek, who I used to work with at NC State, called me, Larry Drew, the coach of the Hawks, called Tom Izzo, Rick Barnes, Mike Krzyzewski. It was unbelievable the people who had interest in paying attention to what we were doing at the College of Charleston. My old friend Gary Riggs from Maryland, my good friend Les Robinson, who I worked with at NC State, also provided advice as we went through the process. The point in all this is that the basketball community nationally sees College of Charleston as a relevant place, as a place to be. There were two things that came through in all those conversations. Is people in basketball believe that this is a place that you can be successful, very successful. They Coach John Press and Coach Bobby Crimmins, and the players and the coaches that they have attracted to our great city and our wonderful university over many years. Our process led to a winning candidate, Doug Wojcik. Doug played in Navy on Navy's best teams, a point guard, the man running the show. He coached in Navy for many years, including 7 seasons, under a gentleman that those in the basketball community would know, Don Good. I think it's fair to say that Don Good is old school. Doug coached at Notre Dame in the Big East. He coached at North Carolina in the ACC. He coached at Michigan State in the Big Ten, and then he got his chance to be a head coach at Tulsa. He was there for 7 seasons. I've had a number of our donors, our supporters call and ask that I read that he was fired at Tulsa. To be honest with you, I can't tell you why. They had a new AD and he said it was, quote, a business decision. Okay? People really do. What I can tell you is this. Doug left Tulsa dramatically better than he found it. When he arrived, they had had 2 consecutive 9-win seasons and were moving to a tougher league to make the task even more difficult, moving from the WAC to Conference USA. And then Doug, over his last 6 seasons at Tulsa, averaged 22 wins a year, graduated every senior 17 for 17, operated with high integrity, and achieved the most wins in the history of their school. John Calipari tells me he calls Doug a tenacious competitor, a relentless recruiter, and an outstanding coach. Mike Krzyzewski told me that Doug's a great coach, and he told me that was difficult for him to say, being a West Pointer, saying such nice things about a Navy man. Tom Izzo describes Doug as a man of incredible character and an incredible work ethic. I believe you're going to like your new coach and his family. Doug Wojcik.
Thank you. We're really glad to be here. We were here in November with my team, and my wife said, we got to go back there someday. Didn't know it would be in March and April this year, so we're really, really excited to be here. I want to thank President Benson. I want to thank the Board of Trustees, Joe Hall, Search Committee, obviously Coach Kress, and Dan Shoemaker. I want to thank Coach Crimmins. A few years ago, my wife and I had a chance to have dinner with Coach Crimmins and Coach Izzo and their wives at the Final Four in Atlanta. Former players and certainly the Cougar Club. It's our pleasure and our privilege to be your next head coach and certainly to move my family here to Charleston and enjoy all the things we've heard about. I don't know anything about it. I didn't see one part of Charleston when I was here playing, but my wife did and my sons did. And kind of interesting, I have to tell you, when I went into the interview, I just took a picture of the boys. They bought 3 things here in Charleston while they were here in November. Paxson bought a Charleston t-shirt, Denham bought a Charleston hat, and I had a picture of them taken up, took a picture of them, and the third thing they bought was a snow globe from the aquarium. So we were pretty fired up, obviously, by having a chance to be here. But thank you very much. The one thing I want to let you know is Coach Kress was in the interview process, and I almost asked for his autograph, but I was almost embarrassed to as we kind of answered questions in my hour and a half in the process. But he's been gracious. I want to embrace what he's done here. I think he's an unbelievable asset actually having him here. And then, of course, I feel like Coach Crimmins, not Coach Crimmins, I think he's won probably every Mr. Congeniality award that you could ever win. But I hope to follow in his footsteps and lead the way both men have here at the College of Charleston. The vision for me is it's a national job. My background, I feel very fortunate to have the opportunities to have been in national schools, to play in actually coached in 3 major conferences. I feel like I have a recruiting net and a reputation that's a national reputation. I serve on the NCAA Ethics Coalition. I feel like this is a national job, and it was one of the best jobs that became available this spring. And so I feel very fortunate, and I feel very privileged to uphold your history and your tradition. What I see is College of Charleston basketball being on a national level. I don't see any reason not to. There's certain conferences around the country that you look at certain programs, and obviously the name Gonzaga comes up a lot. Recently, a Butler comes up a lot. I look at programs near me that have basketball in Creighton and Wichita, recently VCU. But that's what the College of Charleston is going to be. And again, I'm not saying that I'm going to do anything more than what Coach Kress or Coach Kremen did. I'm going to uphold your tradition and your history. Had a great meeting last night. The players were gracious enough to meet me at 10 o'clock last night. Had a wonderful meeting. I called most of them ahead of time, and we had wonderful conversations. And what leads me to being even more excited about being here, besides just the history and tradition, is certainly their character. I really believe that you can get it done with talent and you can get it done with character. And each and every one of them really did a great job of articulating. They worked out this morning. I was able to watch them. My sons came in, and they were so gracious and spent time with my boys. And that means a lot to me. As you lead and as you're a mentor to kids, what I really kind of get excited about is and how I judge guys is basically how you treat my children. And each and every one of these guys was really good. So obviously that means a lot to me. The other thing is facility. You drive down the street here, you turn the corner, you don't even know this place is there. I mean, it's incredible. And then you get into the building, and it's just so well done. The brick, the history of the town, and it's just done in such a way that I think it can attract great players. Obviously, we have the connection with the ESPN tournament. I think that adds credibility and certainly recognition for us nationally as we bring teams here, and we're going to continue to do that. Patson he studies everything, so he knows what's going on. And he looked at the schedule next year and said, "Dad, we got Louisville. We got Louisville at home. If we win that game, we can beat the large team." So that's the way the Wojcik think. It's very true. Scheduling is really difficult and really tough and tricky. But I went around the room last night, and every one of the guys said, "Win the Southern Conference." And that's certainly the first way to the NCAA tournament. But also build the program to be St. Mary's of the West Coast Conference. They challenged Gonzaga. I mean, that's what we want to do. To do that, now you have to win games, you have to schedule games, you have to recruit good players. It takes a lot because you're really competing with about 30 schools for about 5 spots in terms of non-BCS schools trying to get at large bids. So the numbers, as you crunch the numbers, it's not easy to do. There's never been a large team in the Southern Conference. We want to take our program to the point where we win the Southern Conference, and we're also considered as a large team in the NCAA tournament. Education, very important to me. My wife and I are both Day-One Academy graduates. I really believe in my responsibility of certainly mentoring young men, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. It's really important to me, breaking down the coach-player barriers, if there are any, building trust with these guys. And a big part of what they're here for is their education. And each and every one of them, when I ask them, "Hey, do you like being in Charleston?" I love being in Charleston. So the balance between having also a great basketball program and certainly the reputation of a great academic institution, I find as a positive. It's another selling point. It's a point that we can separate ourselves from other people. It's really important as we go around the country to recruit the best players. Obviously, I've heard a lot about the quality of life. Everybody mentions that to me. I hear you. I believe you. I'm looking forward to it. I just talked to Coach Vogler, Eddie Vogler. start going out to eat, you're too skinny, you'll get fat real fast here in Charleston. So I thought that was kind of funny as far as the quality of life goes. But style of play, I just want to touch on that. I had a lot of mentors. I was very fortunate, it hasn't been mentioned, I want to mention him. My high school coach was Skip Ross, and he's now deceased. But he was the head coach of Wake Forest. And he's the guy that really kind of created the dream for me. And he died every 5 years this summer. And great mentor. So I've had an unbelievable background dating back to when I was 14 years old. And here, it tells you a little bit about how good he is. He was at a small Catholic high school in Leon, West Virginia. And he made it to Wake Forest as head coach and was ACC coach of the year. So my schooling started, as far as basketball goes, at a very early age. I've had a great fortune of being around great people. Been around, obviously, Don Lowe and Navy, and of course, being in the Carolina family, and being around Dean Smith, Boyd Williams, Matt Doherty obviously hired me, and went on, being at Notre Dame as well. And the guy who's done the most for me is, and I consider my mentor, is Tom Izzo. He's like a big brother. He's been with me every step of the way. So my vision, my style of play would be somewhat there with Tom Izzo, Michigan State. I talked to these guys last night. They really scored in basketball. I want to continue to do that. I want them to have a lot of freedom on the offensive end. I want Andrew to make a lot of decisions. He's going to be in a great situation this summer, competing on the national or on an international level. And then, of course, developing an inside-outside game. I mean, I'm a product of playing. I was a very limited player. I wasn't as talented as the guards on this team here, but I was able to play with the College Player of the Year. And so I was, I saw the benefit of having, great post play. So it's going to be a balance between both. I want to go offensively, but we're going to definitely be a good defensive team. The other night, you saw Kentucky hold Kansas, I think, to 60 points. The last 2 years, how did Butler get to the national championship game? They held people in the 50s defensively. We're going to be a better rebounding team, but we're going to get better. We're going to be better as individuals, and we're going to be better as a team, and we're just going to continue to try to get to where we want to go. It takes a lot of work, and that's obviously Southern Conference champs, NCAA tournament,